SEO is forever changing and I love it. This year, no different to all the other years. There are a few things that I'm focusing on. Now, these are the things I'm putting all of my current websites through, my current client campaigns, and all of the rank properties that I own, and I own quite a lot of them. First things first is creating content with a purpose. I know that this is a no-brainer, but for a long time, people created content for the sake of the algorithm. And hey, don't get me wrong, I still do that, but the content should be useful. It should serve a purpose. It should deliver value. I guess what I'm trying to say is don't keyword stuff like I did for many years, and it worked. So repeating the same sentences over and over again, essentially increasing the keyword density. Also, the content that we're creating for sites, especially client campaigns, you should be creating that for multiple channels. So not just the blog on your site. This content should be across other social channels. Like there's never been an easier way to create content at mass, but try to avoid AI avatars. Use your own voice, get in front of the camera, bonus points. And you want to syndicate that stuff across a few channels. Now, from a Google's perspective, they're seeing a natural progression of a brand utilizing multiple platforms. That's considered trustworthy. From a user's perspective, engagement perspective, someone might find you on those channels. Each channel might be its own bucket, depending on the industry, of course. So in the past, we focused a lot on just creating more new add on top, build that tool of building. But these days, I think my analogy is going to start changing. We started doing this actually some time back. We need to go back and rebuild the bottom floors, maybe delete some of those bottom floors. In other words, what I'm saying is we're splitting our strategy of 50% that we're adding on to new things. And then 50% we're actually going back and making sure the old content is still relevant if it needs to be rewritten, service pages remade to cater to the way people shop and consume information these days. And if you think about it, talk and everything else, everyone's really impatient. If they're looking to buy a wedding dress, they don't need the first sentence of the blog to say, what is a wedding dress? Like all of those blogs that you read in the last 15 years, right? So straight to the point, across all channels, straight to the point. What's your experience? How trustworthy are you on this topic? Get straight to the point of those blogs. Or make an easy table of contents. This is all basic stuff that you should have there. But these days, I'm attempting to have every single one of my blog accompanied by a YouTube video, which is up on the channel. So there's little micro signals across the board that will send signals to those pages. People are impatient these days. So the more you can embrace video with a real human face and not AI, the more your brand is going to grow. So I guess what I'm also trying to say is try and trim the old stuff as well. So instead of just making video more, go trim the old stuff, trim it, maybe shorten it, make it more compact, get straight to the point. I'm literally using that line in some of my blogs. Let me get straight to the point. Here is the answer that you're looking for. Then generally, you get what you're looking for in a website. Respect that website a little bit more when how frustrating it was when you have to scroll through a wall of text to get to the answer of what you're actually looking for. This is why the AI overviews are winning and doing really good. But at the end of the day, the AI overview needs to pull that data from somewhere. And I feel like there's going to be, the SERPs will never be the same. Let's face it. If you're looking for a quick answer, overviews will give you that answer probably forever. So there's a whole bunch of traffic that will just never return to websites. But those posts still need to be there to prove to Google, the robots, be it Google, be it Bing, be it ChatGPT, that their website is trustworthy on the topic. How else are they going to understand trustworthiness and authority and expertise? You have text and things to crawl. So it's a robot. So the next one is paying attention to NLP, sentiment, tone of voice, writing perspectives. So understand what kind of a person you are attempting to sell to, what kind of a person are you attempting to engage with on your page. You've got amazing tools, Grammarly, Hemingway, and just a whole bunch of incredible prompts with Claude and ChatGPT to get content very skimmable, very readable. So that's a big focus point from me. Look, I don't UGC influencer style stuff. At the end of the day, if someone has a following and is able to create UGC content, the user generated content, reviewing your thing, that's such a big bonus. That's someone that just bought hold on, there's a doggy coming. These years and these days, more than ever before, are people capable of just pressing the record on their phone and delivering like a review of that thing that they bought, whether it's garage storage solutions, whether it's thanking the wedding venue owner and the reception for such a memorable wedding. So where I'm going with this is, yes, you could definitely pay people or incentivize people. Like when you're asking for a review, a Google review, ask them to make a video. And look, if they don't necessarily need to post it on their socials, bonus points if they do. They send it to you, you utilize it on your socials, or potentially pay influencers to showcase your product. So that's definitely big because it just adds an additional point of engagement to your brand, to your site, to your pages, to your social accounts. So watch that space. It's not a new space. UGC is huge. And if you've seen the Amazon influencer program, which is basically if you've bought something on Amazon and you press the record button on your phone and you deliver a bit of a review, guess what? They're going to start paying you commissions, which is a win if people buy from your video. A big one, and I'm sounding like a broken record here, is AT, which is not new. Expertise, experience, authority, and trust across all of the assets that Google will crawl. If you have to, go find the PDFs on the Google website and send ChatGPT to that page and say, hey, give me exact summary of this and how I can implement it on my blogs, on my main page content, on my About Us page. And it essentially will ask you to reword certain things to show that we did this job. We have been doing this job, not we offer this. So it's a bit of a reword in the text, proving to Google that you do have that degree with that university. They're not going to crawl any kind of archives and check for your name, but it's enough to say that you've done it for Google to have a chance to believe you, right? You do that on enough pages and Google will believe you. So in other words, on-page SEO, doing things on the site, because that's all Google can really do. And sure, it will attempt to crawl your LinkedIn, it will attempt to crawl your social accounts. In other words, is what they're saying adding up? You know, have they genuinely been around for so long? Let's have a look when their Google business listing was registered. Let's have a look at their reviews, what their first review was like. Are the reviews consistent with what they're promising on the site? So things like this. So if you haven't already, check out the 20 or so pages on the EAT, essentially how Google decides what quality content is. So this next one is controlling index pages on the site. Look, this has always been a thing, but you want Google to see a diamond of your website. So if there are pages that you shouldn't be showing, landing pages that are funnel pages or sales pages or just resource pages that are, sorry, I shouldn't say resource pages, like transactional pages. I don't have any examples right now. I've hit a bit of like so tags, things that are like internal, stuff that shouldn't be shown. And do they serve a purpose through the index to the Google index, or is it an internal thing? Right? So hide those pages. You can either delete those pages, at least to index those pages, don't make them publicly accessible, and you don't want Google to show those pages online. So essentially trimming the site up. Look at Google and the internet it's a big server. And imagine they're running out of space and they're like, how do we trim this up? In other words, they're choosing what content to show. You'd rather trim your website before Google trims it, or Bing or whoever, right? Because when it looks at all the pages and it gives you like this quality rating, and if you have 50 pages that are 404s or dead pages or thin pages with old outdated content, they're just not going to index it. So if you go to your Google Search Console and you have a look at shown, not indexed or something like that, crawled, not indexed from memory, that gives you an idea. Now, take it with a grain of salt. Everything there should be de-indexed and removed. Content that is expiring. So trends of wedding dress, trends of 2018. Who the hell's going to look at that? Unless you put it together into one post of wedding dress trends over the years. That particular 2018, 2017 post probably just needs to get 301 redirected or loaded into one monster post. So cleaning up that stuff, cleaning up those paginated pages that are superfluous. Another one is just letting go of pages that are just declining. If you're seeing rankings drop on a certain page over a period of months and years, and you're trying to fight it and sending links and sculpting, just take the loss, make a new page, redirect it. And just sometimes with Google are a bunch of monkeys. They make a lot of mistakes across the board, not just Google ads, but with listings and things like that. So just sometimes it's easier just to make a new page and point as much SEO juice there. So it's a lot of the time it's a game of quantity as well as quality, of course, but you build something and you see how it evolves at the time. So this next one is give people a people first experience. It's all about the user. It's all about the user experience. When they land on your site, what is it that they're looking for? Give them the answer as quickly as possible. Don't make them jump through hoops. It creates a frustrating experience. And so the biggest ranking factor is user engagement on your site. If an actual user that is not a robot with a Gmail, with a pixel, they could see that it's an individual person that time and fills out that inquiry form and reads the reviews, looks at the projects. That's the best experience that you can ask for. And I think all of this just comes down to building a genuine, real brand that takes real action and real movements that are natural in the direction of building a brand. You offer a service, you are proving that you are trustworthy, you are proving that you have experience, you're showing your projects, you're trustworthy because you have lots of reviews, you're sharing value across the platforms, you're sharing value across platforms that get real eyeballs, and it all just comes into play. I know we're all looking for the quick tactics and these quick buttons to press to get these micro wins. And sure, I'm looking for those as well. And I know a lot of those, but they all just fall into the bigger picture of build a genuine, real brand.